So how is the human trafficking? You cannot make friends when you are being trafficked, and I was being trafficked for many years. Most of it was labor trafficking, and I was isolated from the world. I couldn't make friends. The only people I knew is the pedophiles, the criminals, the murderers, the rapists, and the pimps and the traffickers. Harut Orayan, Aini, Arakelian, and all these other Lebanese Syrian criminals who were raping and trafficking me in New Jersey. It started from Armenia. I'm a survivor of child sex trafficking, and I was a child when they start trafficking me. And of course, my family members knew about it. My uncle was part of it, and the in-laws, two in-laws who are two in-laws, my uncle's wives, two in-laws. One is Salvi, one is Nara. Both of them, they were trafficking me when I was a child. They trafficked me to Kazakhstan, and when I came back, they trafficked me to Harut Orayan, who is more than 30 years older than me. The documentation says that he's only 28 years older than me, but that's a fraud. He's more than 30 years older than me. He's more than 30 years older than me because they make fraud documentation. Fraud, they change my age, they change the documentation. Fraud, they changed my age. I was a child underage, so they made fraud birth certification, fraud documentation, so they can make my age like as if I'm only 28 years younger than him. But again, he's more than 30 years older than me, and he raped me. He was a pedophile and pimp. He just didn't, he not only raping me, but raping my cousins and some of these children in Armenia. And he is more than 30 years older than me. He raped me, and then he trafficked me, and then he brought me to New Jersey. He trafficked me in New Jersey. So the isolation began from there. They trafficked me, and so Harut Orayan and Ani Arakelian isolated me from the world. They wouldn't let me make friends or have friends. The only people I knew are the pimps, pedophiles, criminals, some of them who are judges working with Ani Arakelian. They took us to Long Island Beach, and they raped me and other children over there, and they trafficked Natalie when she was a baby. So Harut isolated me, and he also isolated Natalie. So he wouldn't let me make friends. They would turn people against us. I don't know what they would say to these people turning people against us, telling them, so I don't know what they tell them. They would make people become like very aggressive towards me and towards Natalie. I would be attacked, harassed. Most of them were pimps and pedophiles, but some of the people, like Ani's godparents, I mean Natalie's godparents in New Jersey, who don't know the situation, and Harut turned them against me, and he lied to them about me. There was too much confusion, fraud, deception, lies, bribery, slander, and pathological liar. Aini Arakelian is a psychopath, just as Harut Orayan is. The whole family is. And everybody's making fun of them. If you see Harut Orayan, you will laugh. He looks like psycho. He looks abnormal. He looks like he is sick, and everybody makes fun of him, his mother. Everybody makes fun of Aini Arakelian. It's just they have to do bribery, fraud, deception in order to be having some reputation. They may have reputation, money buys it, but they have no dignity. They have no class. They are Lebanese, Syrian, Iraqi ISIS gangs who rape and traffic Christian children internationally. So in this way they trafficked me, and they turned people against me. So isolation began. The first day when I came to New Jersey, he started isolating me. He was telling people lie about me, slandering me. And as I told you, it started within my family. My uncle knows Harut. My uncle and his parents also came from Lebanon, and they were living in Armenia. He was part of it. And the in-laws, I have other in-laws from my father's side. My father's side knew about it, but nobody cared that I was being trafficked. They knew, they don't care. they just were looking to get some benefits. They are all focused on American money. They took my home. I didn't have my parents. My grandparents were the people who were raising me, but my grandparents are naive and they don't know what's going on. My grandfather died. It's a different story that I'm gonna share. My grandfather died, and my grandma also knew that I was being trafficked. She didn't want to do anything. And these family members, they all knew. They all knew, my uncle and the in-laws. So it started within my family, who trafficked me in Kazakhstan, and they trafficked me to Harut. And Harut was the first pimp that I first sold to, and he was threatening them also. He threatened my family members. He also killed some of my family members, my cousin, my grandfather. He threatened them, if they do anything against him, he will kill them. It's easy for Harut to do killing people in Armenia. It's so easy. It's all about few $100s. It's so easy to kill people over there. And Harut does a lot of frauds. They rape children over there. They have their own people, and they threaten my good family members. I have my good family members in Armenia. They threaten them, if you say anything, we will kill your children. So Harut, when he came to Armenia, he raped my cousins, and he raped me, and then I was being trafficked. My uncle, the Lebanese ones, they trafficked me. My uncle and their family, his father came from Lebanon. I don't know, I think my mother, she was born in Russia. I don't know if he was born in Russia too, but his father came from Lebanon. His aunt, who lives in Canada, knows my trafficker. They know my trafficker, Arevalois. She knows Harut Orayan. They grew up together in Lebanon. I heard from them. They told me they lived in Lebanon together, in Beirut together. So as I understand, in Lebanon, human trafficking is nothing. It's like, yeah, it's common, and it's like normal thing. Lebanese people, they traffic. Labor and sex trafficking is normal, and the prostitution is high in Lebanon. Number one prostitution, one of number one prostitution countries is the Lebanon. So anyways, that's a different story. So what happened? The isolation began. So he would turn people against me, making people enemies, and he would tell people to harass me, attack me. So the only people that I knew, I couldn't make friends. All my life, I couldn't make friends because I was being trafficked. Now I left trafficking, and when I tell people about my story, they contact to these people, the organizations. Everywhere I go in United States, they contact them through the traffickers. And some of the traffickers are cops, attorneys, judges, doctors, court representatives. Even there was an FBI agent. I'm telling you, they took us to an island and they raped me and other children. There was a lawyer and a judge, and they're very powerful people in this group. Powerful people who rape children and who work with Ani, Arakelian, and Harut Orayan. And this is why they are protecting and defending them. And Harut turned a lot of good people against me. These people, he would tell people she's a prostitute, she's doing wrong things, she's doing this, and lie, it was all a fraud. Even if there was a situation when these people see me doing wrong things, I wasn't doing wrong things. I wasn't a prostitute. I was forced. They would use threats, deception, fraud, coercion, lie, and they would rape me. I wasn't a prostitute. If I was a prostitute, I wouldn't be homeless right now on the streets. I wouldn't be even coming here and talking about this. And I'm a very good person. I'm a very innocent, loyal, naive. I was loyal to my pimp. He would tell me to do wrong things, and I would listen to him. He would isolate me and teach me to do wrong things. They would force me to watch pornography. They would tell me, I don't know how. They would tell me, you don't know how to do sex. You have to watch porn and learn sex technique. And he would go after this. There are so many prostitutes. So the only people I know in New Jersey are prostitutes, pedophiles, and criminals. Natalie, she had her godparents, godmother, and you call it right, godmother and godfather. Harut turned them against me by fraud again. Everywhere we used to go, he would turn people against me. I tried to put Natalie to Christian school. He turned people against me through any arakelian who is playing church, and she was molesting us, trafficking me and other children all over. She trafficked me in Armenia 2 times. They trafficked me in Armenia, in New Jersey, in Dubai, to Muslims. And Harut, Oyana, and Arakelian, they speak Islam. They are radical. They are very radical. They speak the language. They follow that tradition and their culture. And they are the radical ones. They are not the good. And they are not even Christians. They represent as if they are Christians. They are terroristic Islamic gangs. They are not the radical. They are the radical Islams. They are not Christians. And Anna Arakelian is pretending as if she is a Christian, so in this way she can traffic children internationally and play church and get away with it. And the authorities, there are some authorities who work for her and with her. And I'm telling you, the powerful helps her to get away with things. Again, why I was isolated and why I couldn't make friends, because I was being trafficked. And the only people I knew are these pedophiles, these criminals, these rapists, these prostitutes, traffickers, the good people with whom I couldn't associate because Harut would isolate me. And Natalie also, by turning people against us, he would do lying people, bribery, using other people to lie about me, fraud, deception, coercion, pathological lies. He's a pathological liar. He spread lies about me, fraud, and horrible lies that he would slander. And in this way, so he could isolate me. By turning people against me, he would isolate me and traffic me. Even if I look for help, nobody would come and help me, because he would tell people like horrible lies as if I'm a prostitute, I'm this, I'm that, I'm crazy, or I'm all the bullshit, all the lies. It's everything he said about me. It's him. It's him. He's a criminal, and he's not just. It's not crazy. Crazy is nothing. He's a psychopath, and he's a pedophile, and he's a trafficker. He's a criminal. Go inside, Lily. I'm coming. This is how he isolated me.